Thank you for coming to the 2016 Chancellor's Report to the Community Luncheon. We're glad to have you here. I'm Nikki Da Silva, a senior studying sociology and philanthropy with a minor in business, and I've had the honor of serving as the undergraduate student body president for the past 2 years at IUPUI. I currently intern at the Indiana State Senate, and following graduation in May, I plan on obtaining a JD MBA focusing on organizational behavior, none of which would be possible without IUPUI. I would also like to recognize our wonderful musicians this afternoon. They are Dr. Elizabeth Rini and her student Kelsey Elmore. Dr. Rini is an honors graduate of Liszt Academy of Music in Budapest, Hungary, and received a doctorate of music from the Jacobs School of Music at Indiana University, Bloomington. Dr. Rini is a faculty member at IUPUI, the University of Evansville, and Meridian Music School. Kelsey is a freshman at IUPUI from Sheridan, Indiana. She is majoring in English and law. She is also a recipient of the Chancellor Scholarship and a member of the Honors College. She is the first harp student at IUPUI. Would you please join me in thanking them? Enjoy your lunch, and we'll be back in a half hour with our program. I hope you all have enjoyed your lunch. We will now begin our program. I have the honor of introducing IU trustee and chair of the IUPUI Board of Advisors, Phil Eskew. Trustee Eskew earned his medical degree from the IU School of Medicine and holds a bachelor's degree from DePaul University. A diplomat on the American Board of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Trustee Eskew enjoyed a distinguished career in medicine, retiring as the Director of Physician and Patient Relations at St. Vincent's Hospital. He is an emeritus faculty member in obstetrics and gynecology at the IU School of Medicine. Trustee Eskew is an active member of the Carmel community, serving 12 years on the school board. He has also played an integral role in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame since 1993 and served as its president from 2007 to 2009. As an IUPUI student, I am proud to say that Trustee Eskew serves as the chair of the IUPUI Board of Advisors. I would add that Dr. Eskew is an elected trustee of the Indiana University, selected by the alumni to represent their interests, and he has held this position for a full decade. Trustee Eskew has been recognized for his service and achievements with a Sagamore of the Wabash in 1996, the St. Vincent Hospital Distinguished Physician Award in 2000, and the March of Dimes Mark of Distinction Award in 2001. He was inducted into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame in 2005. Would you please help me in welcoming IU trustee and chair of the IUPUI Board of Advisors, Dr. Phil Eskew.
Thanks, Nikki. This is a future star. Nikki is serving as an intern with Senator Ryan Mishler and Senator Dennis Cruz, and she has a bright future ahead of her. So thank you. Well, on behalf of the IUPUI Board of Advisors, I'm pleased to welcome you today to the Chancellor's Report to the community. Today, it's my pleasure, for the first time, to introduce Nasser Paydar, who's the 5th Chancellor of IUPUI. He's in his first year of leading this dynamic institution. I wish that we had the video that was made of him running in running shoes from one department to the other department to the other department, playing while I'm introducing him, because he is an Energizer bunny. As Nikki mentioned, I have had the good fortune to serve on the Board of Trustees and on the IUPUI Board of Advisors. The chair rotates between a trustee from Purdue and a trustee from IU. And from these positions, I feel like I've gotten to know Chancellor Paydar. 2006, when I was first elected to the Board of Trustees, Nasser was serving as the Vice Chancellor and Dean of Indiana University, Purdue University, Columbus. Prior to that, he had held a number of leadership positions at IUPUI in the School of Engineering and Technology, where he had served on the faculty since 1985. In about 2007, Tom Riley, who's over here, can attest to this, the trustees were really concerned about the IU East campus. We actually thought about closing it because it wasn't doing well. I remember Nasser coming to me and saying, I can fix that. We named him and selected him as a chancellor at IU East in Richmond, and there he led strategic planning and a campus transformation that resulted in record-breaking enrollment and improved first-year retention rate and significant increase in graduation rates. Nasser brought good news to every presentation he made to the Board of Trustees, and in 2012, he returned to IUPUI as Executive Vice Chancellor and Chief Academic Officer. And among his other responsibilities, he led the campus-wide strategic planning efforts. Having watched Chancellor Paydar from my seat on the Board of Advisors and as a trustee, I can say that I look forward to the transformational difference he will make on this campus. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Nasser Paydar.
Thank you very much, Trustee SQ. I really appreciate your kind words. Let me take this opportunity, as I welcome everyone to the event, mention how wonderful Nikki has been as represented undergraduate student body for several years at the campus, at the trustees meeting, and she will be graduating. So please join me thanking Nikki for her great contributions. Also, please join me in thanking our wonderful, talented musicians, Esbert Renee and her student, Kelsey Elmore. Thank you. I'd like to take a moment and acknowledge several people here. I'd like to start with my best friend, the First Lady of the campus, Nilu Paydar. We heard from Trustee SQ. We have a number of other IU trustees here. So Trustee SQ, I ask you to rise. I ask everyone to wait until all introduced to welcome they're here. Trustee SQ, Trustee Mary Ellen Bishop, and Trustee Emeritus Tom Riley. Please join me in thanking them for leadership. I'm also delighted that we have a number of our Board of Advisor members here. I asked them to please rise so that we could acknowledge and thank them. Thank you. Number of members of IUPUI Chancellor Circle. Could you please rise so that we could thank you for your great contributions to this wonderful campus? There you are. Thank you. We have a number of elected officials and their representatives joining us today. I understand that there is a caucus and someone could not make it here. But I want to ask Indiana General Assembly members, City County Council members, and those representing the federal elected officials, please rise so that we could thank you for your great service. Thank you. Thank you. And I would also like to welcome a representative from the City of Indianapolis, including Mayor Joe Hochstad's office. Please rise so we could thank you for your great contributions. Thank you. Thank you. And finally, it is my pleasure to welcome guests from Consular Corps of Indianapolis. We have representatives from Mexico, Romania, Denmark, and France. Could you please rise for our recognition? It is my pleasure to address this body for the first time as Chancellor of IUPUI. This is an exciting time in the history of the university. We are about to celebrate IU Bicentennial. In 4 or 5 years, we will be celebrating our 50th anniversary. Purdue University will be celebrating their 150 years soon. This is terrific. This is wonderful. and I'm new, this is my first time, so I thought I have to do a wonderful job and make a wonderful presentation. So I put all the slides together. It was 120. I went to my cabinet. They didn't laugh. What they did was they just looked at me and they didn't say anything. So I knew that, yeah, this is too much. So I cut it to 40. So that's where we are, and that's what we're going to be talking about. And what are we talking about? First, I thought, well, I will focus on what's happening in higher education today, because it's affecting all universities. Then I said, well, how can I do that without really talking about our students, right? These are the people that we are proud of. Then I said, well, how can we talk about that? They are being mentored by wonderful faculty staff of IUPUI. Then I said, maybe Hoosier modesty that will not let me talk about that. I said, let me talk about the campus itself, who we are, the beautiful facilities. That was not what I thought would be the good subject only. So I said, what about our plans, priorities? You want to know about that, right? But then I said, maybe you want to know more about future. Where are we going? What's going to happen? You have these priorities. What's going to happen? So I couldn't decide. So therefore, I decided to do all of them. That's what we're going to do. Now, warning. We were led by a wonderful chancellor. I'm following Chancellor Benz, who dedicated his life in really making this campus what it is today, and also increase student success. Outstanding communicator. I'm an engineer. So I just want to put it in perspective. My presentation has a lot of charts, graphs. I told my staff, I said I'm going to do spider charts. They said, don't do spider charts. Nobody knows what that is. So I cut the spider charts, but the rest are here. We have planted a few engineers among you, so if you have any questions around the tables, any engineer, by the way, here, could you raise your hand? There you go, so you know where to go. We have MIT represented here, a number of other places here as well, and of course, Dean of Engineering, David Rusumano is here. You could translate all of that. All right, so let me begin. Since we are in Indiana, look at what we are known, among other things, manufacturing. How is manufacturing? Is it dead? Is manufacturing dead? What's happening in the US? So let us begin looking at that. Now, one of the tricks, by the way, of going from 120 to 40 is to put 4 of them in one. My staff bought it. What can I say? They said, this is terrific. Basically, what I'm telling you there, on the left-hand side, you see Indiana production, manufacturing, you see industrial production, the US below it, right? So the slope is positive, it's going in the right direction. But then on the right-hand side, we see the employment in these businesses in manufacturing. We see, for example, in Indiana, while we've had the growth, we've lost 1/3 of the workforce there. So how could it be? We are more productive. We are doing things differently. We need the different kinds of people to help us with manufacturing. One good example is that, with the exception of Meridian Street, most of the garbage trucks used to have like 2 people hanging from it, remember? And they would stop and they would put the trash in it and then move on to the next one. What do we see now? There's one driver, a computer here, a mechanical arm that comes and picks up, puts it there. Faster, quicker, cleaner. Well, 500,000 trucks times 2, we lost 1 million jobs there because we need the different kinds of people. So another view of connecting the industry, the businesses to employment is what you see there. So what you see is Great Recession from beginning until the recovery period. I have 3 bars there. I don't know whether you see the colors. The one in the bottom, which is blue or green, is high school graduates. The one in the middle, the red, is people with associate degrees. The one above, baccalaureate and higher. As you can see, we lost about 6 million or so with people without post-secondary education. And what happened at the recovery part? We even lost more. But look at the people with baccalaureate degrees. So we see that not only did not go down, negative parts, we have actually gained some positions. This again establishes the connection between prosperity of individual, prosperity of a community to education. So if that is the case, how is US doing with respect to other countries? So here is a chart. I told you, I gave you a warning about charts, right? Now some of you are enjoying this, I see this, and some of you are not doing that. So you see the circle, that's US. Now, if you look at people with 55 and 64, and I'm drawing line on US, if you look at those diamonds, the red ones, 55 to 64 years, we are above all countries. So at one point, we led. But if you take a look at the 25 to 34 years, you will see that we were, in 2011, ranked 13. Meaning that Korea, which is all the way to the right-hand side, which is about 60% of their population with post-secondary graduation. This is why Lumina Foundation, our chamber, Commission for Higher Education, is calling for us to increase education attainment in the country to get it at 60%. Now, how are we doing in the state of Indiana? We are at 34.7%. We need to do more to catch up with the rest of the country, and the country itself needs to go up to catch up with the other places. It would have been good if other countries would stop today. Freeze it. Give us a chance to get there. But you know that they are moving there. So what we need to do then is to increase the number of people with post-secondary education. Nikki, could you remember that? So that's one goal. Remember that? We need to increase the number of people with education, post-secondary education. Now, to get to 60%, if you look at the goal 2025, by the year 2025, roughly 37 million, many of you sitting here, would be in the workforce. But some of you will not be in the workforce there. So we will have 37, we will have immigration. Adding more, we will have, if at the rate that we are graduating students today in colleges all across the country, we will be at 60, we will add another 61, meaning we'll be at 80% a goal. That means the country will have 50% of its population with baccalaureate degrees. So what this means, we have to find ways of educating another 23 million, somehow more, to get to that 60% by the year 2025. Now, the issue is not just that. So that's one factor. The issue is who we are graduating and how we have been able to do that. I'm showing you another beautiful chart. I don't leave home without looking at chart. This is another one. I think enough of chart joke, right? That's what Beck can say. So I have here people with post-secondary degree divided by quartile of wealth of their family. So if you are in the top quartile, and it doesn't take much, 90,000 or so income puts you at the top quartile. This goes from 1970 to almost now. You have 80% chance of getting a degree. Our kids had to fight not to get a baccalaureate degree because the odds were against them, that they will get a baccalaureate degree. But then look at the bottom quartile. Look at the bottom half. We haven't advanced there. And it doesn't take an engineer or rocket science to tell you that there is no way you could achieve 60% in the country without paying attention to people in the bottom half of the quartile of wealth. And when you look at that, you will see a many underrepresented group. So this is another challenge for us. Nikki, what was the first one? Educate more. Second one is different kind of people. Find ways of educating different kind of people. Now, why am I talking about that? I want to talk about our plan, where we are going. It has to be driven by the environment, and that's what's driving us today. Now, let's take a look at who we are today. We have 30,000 students on this campus. Over 8,000 of them are graduate students. We get new beginners, freshmen. Majority of our incoming students are new beginners, but we do have transfers and people that want to finish, and we also have about 2,000 international students on campus. Now, this is very interesting. 87% of our students are Hoosiers. Look at the undergraduate. 93% of our students of IUPUI, they're Hoosiers. And 90% of them stay in this state when they graduate. So we have an opportunity to make a difference in the two goals that Nikki is keeping track of. We have students from 92 countries, 48 states, 148 countries. If you know anyone from Maine and North Dakota, please, then I could say all states. Those two, for some reason, we are not cold enough. So if you take a look at the new beginners, I'm not going to go through this, but basically 40% of them live on campus. A third of them are first generation in their families. But what is really makes us proud, 25% of our students are students of color. 25% of our students of color. And then you see the rest of it, while they want to work here, off campus, on campus, but the 95% of incoming freshmen are full-timers. So they work, but then they also take full load. Now, one of the things that is very important is to make sure that these students graduate. And one factor that is known, and Commission for Higher Education is pushing that in the state of Indiana, is to make sure that our students take 15 credit hours. So this beautiful chart here shows that going back to 2005, how many or what percentage of freshmen took 15 credits or more. So you could see we've been kind of flat or stayed at that level, but we have pushed that in the last 3 years. And look what has happened. In the last 3 years, we have more than doubled students that are taking 15 credits. And what does that mean? That means the student success rate is going to go up, graduation is going to go up, more people will be graduating and staying in this community. Speaking about staying, 40% of our freshmen live in our residence halls. And we are building one more, and we'll be ready by fall. 60% of our students will be there, which is really terrific. Why? We are blessed to have so many places around the campus within walking distance, but statistics shows if you're on campus, if you work, you're more engaged, and if you're more engaged, chances of success would go higher. So student body, very diverse, 25% of students of color. They primarily come from Indiana, and they stay in Indiana. Of course, these students are educated by a number of outstanding faculty and staff. You see the numbers, and that includes IU School of Medicine. And you also see that we have 350+ degree programs. That gives us an opportunity to create interdisciplinary program and engage students in a number of different disciplines. We have 17 schools, and 15 of them offer primarily IU degrees, and 2 of them offer mostly Purdue degrees. And as I mentioned, we've graduated 7,000 students last year, and they stayed majority in the state. We are ranked by U.S. News and World Report as Tier 1 national universities in the top 200 of 5,000+ universities. We are ranked for a number of other categories that you see there. But one thing, I will only mention one, and that is to do with, they ranked for the first time among the Tier 1 national universities, research-oriented universities, those that also have outstanding teaching. So this is number 1, 2, and 3. Princeton, Dartmouth, Brown. Number 16 on that list was IUPUI. If you shave the privates, we ranked 5th in the country, tying with Arizona State, Michigan State. That by itself deserves a hand. Many of the deans that are sitting here work so hard to make sure that our programs individually are there. There are a number of them, but I'm just showing a few of them here. We are also ranked by Military Times as best for vets on campus. We have the highest number of vets among all universities in the state of Indiana. We are proud of it. We want to increase that. We're going to make sure that their success rate goes up. For what they have done, we owe it to them to make sure that they're successful. But we are also proud, by the way, that we are 4 times recipient of Higher Education Excellence in Diversity Award. 4 times consecutive. Where is number of, yeah, exactly. This is another one that shows working and with including School of Medicine, we attracted $388 million last year. This shows month to month and what our growth has been, which is really significant. And again, number of faculty from School of Medicine brought most of the funding, and we have maybe 50 million is from outside medicine and 330 with medicine, which is really terrific work on part of our faculty. Now, teaching, research, service, engagement in community. That's part of our DNA. We have 486 partners in the community. We have 560 service learning courses. These are courses students take for credit, and they spend time in the community. Internship, experiential learning, nonprofit, for-profit, for money, they're out there. Over 8,000 students are involved in it as we speak right now. Athletics, you're part of Division I, 8 men and 10 women sports, Summit League. Our team played Butler over the break. I had a bet with the president of Butler. One of us lost. When our basketball team, we got together, our mascots came together. They brought the blue, the real bulldog, and we brought Jags, someone in the clothes of a jaguar. Got me thinking, innovative. What if we get a live jaguar here? I don't think our trustees will let us do that, but maybe a bronze one here. So now all of that takes resources. This is a chart, not so much the dollars. Our budget is $1.3 billion with School of Medicine, but this also shows the state support and the other parts that we have there. And all of that supports this big infrastructure, this campus that you see there. You see the main campus, you see the IU Health, all the health related. You see the region over, north of the Fall Creek River. That's where the 16 Tech, we have presence there. This managing, planning for it requires significant work. I want to take the opportunity. I don't believe Tom Morrison, Vice President for Capital Planning and Facilities here, but I want us to thank him for his leadership of taking care of the master plan of IUPUI. Please join me in thanking him in absentia. We also want to thank City of Indianapolis, our great partner. What you see there, which shows a New York Street, which was converted to two-way to help with the flow of traffic. And now, over the summer, they'll be working on burying all the wires on West Street. Michigan would be next to look at. We're delighted to have partnership with the city and thank them for their support. Wishard Demolition, as you know that we swapped land with Wishard Hospital. They went to the other side of the campus where the Ashkenazi is. They gave us a number of buildings there. And of course, there was a reason they gave us the buildings, right? So we thank them for giving us. Number of them are wonderful, but we are demolishing a number of them, which gives us an opportunity for future, for strategic growth, which is not too many university campuses could say that. So we have that. We have a wonderful natatorium. We are renovating it. It's a $20 million project. $10 million comes from the campus. We thank Liddy Endowment for their support of that. This is a wonderful facility that will be renovated and will be available right before 2016 Olympic trials, which happens there, which is really terrific. Another renovation that we have right now going on is related to Ball Gardens. Ball Gardens, which is close to School of Nursing, and I see Dean of Nursing there. It was designed by Olmsted Brothers in 1929. We are getting it back to the way it was and bringing the flow statue there, which is going to be terrific. And this was where nurses got together. They have pinning ceremonies, and we hope to duplicate all that environment there. So we're very excited about that. I did mention about a new residence hall. We thank our trustees for supporting the North Hall, which is somewhere over there. Somewhere here, no, it's over there. And which is going to be on time. We'll have 700 beds, and you could see that this is a recent picture that is almost ready to be worked inside and will be available this summer. Speaking about summer, we have a number of projects. I'm not going to go through it in the interest of time, although I love to do that. But one project I will point out, I see Dean Williams here. Dean Williams. There it is. Thank you very much for leading the efforts for expansion of dental school. You know that our dental school is the only dental school in the state of Indiana. 80% of dentists have graduated, that you go to, have graduated from a school of dentistry, and that expansion is going to be terrific, 45,000 square feet, 21.6 million expansion, which is terrific. It's going to start this summer. We're really looking forward to that. Now, in form of priorities, priority one, we said the environment Nikki, what was that? Increase the number of students that we have. Priority number one is students. undergraduate, graduate, and make sure that we have plans for it, we have initiatives in all of those areas. The priority second is given the life science campus of Indiana, we want to leverage our strength in that area. And priority three is community. We need to find ways of contributing to our community with a number of other areas. I was going to go through every point of it and go through every initiative, but I was told, no, better yet, put everything on paper and make sure when people are leaving, they get that out there. So we have a program for you that you don't have it on your desk, but you will get it when you go out, that everything you want to know about our plan is in that document. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, given that salmon was swimming too fast for them to catch to bring to the tables. Now, in order to do any of these, we need to make sure that we have a campus climate that allows all of that. So increasing significant percent of African American students on our campus is priority number one. In the first week on the job, I created a task force to look at African Americans, recruitment, retention. We have received the recommendations, we are analyzing it, we're going to put money in it, resources in there, because we said we have to find ways of educating all types of students. Now we are focusing on Latinos and Hispanics. We are forming a task force now to do that. By next fall, from this year to next year, we are going to double. I have no idea how, but I promise you we'll double the need-based financial aid, because if you really want to educate people from different areas, you got to be able to find money for it. We're going to double need-based financial aid, and I think that also deserves a hand. We are going to have a new initiative called Welcoming Campus. We are forming task forces as we speak to ask them, what does it mean to be a welcoming campus for students? What does it mean to be welcoming campus for faculty, staff, community? What does that mean? And we are also asking, what does it mean to be culturally competent? So those are the kinds of things that this task force is going to be doing. And we also are asking ourselves, how can we become physically more welcoming? Now, another warning. If you're allergic to flowers, I would avoid IUPUI this spring, because you will not go 10 yards without hitting some kind of a flower pot hanging from something in front of you, because we want to make sure the campus shines, looks good, and is full of bees. No, I meant good buzz, coming from the bees. This says buzz, I said bees. Well, this project is going to start now, it's going to end at the end of the year. Our future, dynamic, urban campus with outstanding first-class degree programs. We are going to be a majority-minority campus. We have plans, not tomorrow, not the day after tomorrow, to become majority-minority campus, because if we want to contribute to our own state and others, we have to educate everyone in this area. Technology-rich, we want to take advantage of that. In fact, this campus today offers more online courses than many others. But we want to leverage that. We want to be an accessible, sustainable campus, an aesthetically beautiful campus, and we want to be able to even deepen our relationship with the community and be more involved in it, work with the city, work with others, work with businesses, make sure that we are a partner that deliver education that they need in their businesses. Let me also talk to you about the Bicentennial Campaign, that we are in the 4th year in that process. It's a all-university campaign. The goal is $2.5 billion. We're 49 months into it, and we have raised already, thanks to many of you sitting here and others, $685 million. I mean, that by itself deserves... And let me close by saying, all of us have worked together to make this wonderful, amazing campus. Our faculty, staff, students, the reason for our success and excellence in education, research, community engagement, and many other things that we do here. This community believes in partnership, working together, and that's what makes this campus different from all other campuses in the country. And with wise counsel from our alumni and community members, we will continue to build on this momentum. Future that I spoke about, that future is our future. It's our future. And together, we need to continue to lead the way, to educate, and to inspire. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Paydar. And during your speech, I checked, we do have a student from North Dakota, so you're at 49 states. Thank you all for attending the IUPUI report to the community. We appreciate your support that you provide to IUPUI throughout the year and are so glad you could join us today to find out what is happening at IUPUI. Please don't forget to pick up your complimentary copy of the IUPUI strategic plan and parking validation tickets on your way out. We would also appreciate if you could drop off your name tags in the baskets near the door. Thank you.